Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be looking at how we can schedule a make.com scenario to run on the last day of the month on a recurring basis. So what I've got here is I've got a flow that's pulling some Google Analytic data and some scenario data, and what I'm doing is I'm generating a report and I want to send it to a client the last day of every month. And if we jump into the custom schedule, you notice that we can select the last day of the month, but there's nothing in here that allows us to specify that we only want to run this on the last day of every month. As you notice, the last day of every month is different between these dates. So the way we can achieve this is by setting up a API key in our make.com profile and setting up a maker API call make.com module at the end of this flow, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So if I jump to my other tab, as you see, we're just on the organization page, and if you just click on your name at the bottom and you go to your profile, if you come into API access, what you want to do is, if you've not set up a token before, is add a token. The label I'm going to give it is last day next month. And if we just come down here in the scope, what we want to select is scenario read and scenario write, and I'm just going to save that. And you want to copy this API key. Now you don't want to tell anyone this API key, and I'm going to delete this one at the end of the video. You want to keep it safe and secure. And if we come to the end of the flow, just want to add a module. We'll select a make module. If you can't see it, you just search make. We're going to select this, and if we scroll to the bottom, you want to make an API call. And if this is the first time you're adding this module, it's going to ask you to set up a connection. So I'm going to add a connection in here, and what I'm going to call it is last day next month. The environment URL I'll show you soon, but we're just going to paste that API key in. And your environment URL is, you can go to your URL up here, and it's just going to be this front section of your URL, and make sure you copy the HTTPS. So I'm going to copy that in. I'm going to set the environment URL, and I'm going to click save, and make sure you select this new connection. Now the URL we want to target is, it's going to be v2 scenarios, if I can type correctly. And up here in these items, you click these two curly brackets. We just want the scenario ID. So what it's basically doing is, it's going to be over this API URL, it's going to be targeting this scenario in particular. The method we want to select is a patch. Content type is application/JSON. And the body we want to throw in is, I'm going to copy and paste this in, and I'm going to explain it to you guys. Is I'm going to be throwing in this module, and let's see if I can make this a little bigger, and I'm just going to bring it to the side. What we're basically doing is we're targeting the scheduling down here, and we're targeting the date and the type. So if I click OK for now, if we jump into custom schedule, and I scroll all the way back here so I can centralize this page, as you notice, you select the, if I just jump into here, so the type is going to be selecting once in here, and then of course the date which we're setting. So coming back to this make an API call, as you see, and if I break this up a little bit, so you can see we're scheduling against the date, and what we're doing to calculate the date is we're adding some months. So we're going to add months, and we're going to select now, and we're going to select 2 months from now. So if it's December, we're selecting February, which might be a little confusing because we want to run this at the end of January. But by setting the date to 0, what that's actually going to do is go back 1 day from February, and it's going to select the last day of January. And we're going to set the hour to be 8, so that will be 8 AM. We're going to set the minute to be 30, so this is going to run at 8:30 AM, and we're setting the seconds to 0. And of course the type is going to be once. So if I hit OK on this, and what you want to do first is you want to save the scenario, and what I might actually do is unlink this, just to catch it up to speed. We're going to drag it all the way back to the beginning, zoom out, and I'm going to throw this on here, and I'm just going to hit run once. Now if I refresh this page, because I haven't saved it yet, just hit reload, wait for this to load. It's taking its time. If I click back into the flow, what you should notice is that the scenario has been set to once, and it's going to run at this date here. And when that runs again, at the end of every single scenario, it's going to add 2 more months on. It's going to set it back to the last day of the last month and set the time. And you know, if you want to run this at 6 AM, you just change this to 6, and so forth and so on. But that's basically how you can run a scenario at the last day of every month. But that's all. Thanks.